Today I'm going to be reviewing, showing you how I use and washing the London Soho New York, I don't know why it has two names, beauty sponge. And this is just what it looks like. And obviously when you think of a pink foundation sponge, you think of the Beauty Blender. Not only is it the same by its pinky color and its shapey thingy-ma-bobber, it's also the same because it's latex free. And I know the Beauty Blender is supposed to be latex free. Well, it is latex free. And also it's supposed to give you like a flawless face look, so that's also how they're similar. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like a dupe for it or anything, because I actually haven't used the Beauty Blender, or I've never like had it or anything. It's too much for me. It's $20. I don't really want to spend that much on a sponge. And so I saw this and I was like, hey, why not try it out? Because lately I've just been using my fingers to do it, just because I don't really like brushes anymore. They just like, it'll leave streaks or it'll just not blend it right. It just won't really give me the finish that I want. And so I just use my fingers because I don't know, I kind of like it better than brushes. So yeah, I got this at Walmart for $5, and I think at Walgreens or maybe CVS they have them for $7. I'm not sure. It's cheaper at Walmart though. And I really like this. Like, if you look in the video, you can see that whenever I'm putting in my concealer, it actually leaves the concealer there. Like, it doesn't pick it up or blend it out too much, because that's a problem I have whenever I put in concealer. Like, I'll put it on, and if I use my finger, it'll like, have to keep blending, and then if I use a brush, it'll just blend too much to where you can still see redness and stuff. And you can see that I don't have my redness right here, and usually I do. Like, I've had these blemishes right here, and with this, it hasn't soaked up my concealer. It's actually let my concealer stay and let me just kind of work with my concealer to conceal my blemishes. That's a problem I kind of have with brushes and stuff like that. It's just whenever I blend it, it blends too much to where it's basically like just a little bit of concealer packed on, but you can still see my blemishes. The first time I actually saw this was in the store at Walmart, and I was like, let me look up some reviews on this. You know, it looks like the Beauty Blender, but I think the brand is kind of like a cheapish brand. Like, all their makeup brushes and stuff were pretty cheap, so I wasn't sure if, you know, they were a trustworthy brand, if it would just soak up my foundation or anything, because, you know, those little white spongy things, I don't like those. I think they just makes weird edges and stuff, and this one actually blends it out all the way to a natural finish, and it kind of makes it look like flawless and all that stuff, you know. I do it every day, so I know how much I need, how I do it, and all that stuff. And this actually spares my foundation. Like, it doesn't soak it up. It helps me to kind of use less foundation actually, and even if I were to build it on, it still helps to let me build it on and stuff, and doesn't make it look cakey. It kind of just makes it look like a natural finish. It doesn't change my texture of my face or anything, and then it kind of just helps me to blend it in without taking away my foundation, and without just kind of like, you know, piling it on or anything. And I don't know if how the Beauty Blender works, but I know you're supposed to make the Beauty Blender wet to use it, and I actually like this dry just because, I don't know, I like the feeling of it dry, how it like kind of dabs, and it's soft and spongy obviously, and when you make it wet, it's kind of more of like a, what are those mattresses called? Foam mattresses? Tempur-Pedic mattresses? It's kind of like a Tempur-Pedic mattress. It kind of just like, you'll put it into this, like this shape thingy, and it'll stay like that and then slowly expand. Yeah. Whenever I was washing, I forgot to show you how dirty it was, so I don't know. I'm going to show you how dirty it is right now, so you can see whenever I clean it that it actually does have an effect on the cleanness thingy. So you can see I have foundation up here, because it's not pinkish there. My foundation is obviously stained on the top of it, but you know, you can expect that. But it's able to get out with the method I'll show you. It's able to get cleaned out of it. And with regular soap and olive oil, that's what I use on my brushes usually, and it wasn't able to do that. It actually caused a few tears in it. Like, let's see. I don't like to clean up the tears. Like, right here, there's a little tear and whatnot, and right here. And I think it was just using soap and olive oil on it. I don't think it's able to, I don't know, be durable with that. Okay, so for my foundation, I'm just using the Revlon Nearly Naked Makeup. It's 110 Ivory, and you can see I have kind of red blemishes and just, I don't know, stuff that needs to be covered up. And yeah, I just kind of stipple that in with the side of the brush, and kind of using the corner of it too, like the pointy part of it, just to kind of get into like my eye area thingamabobber. And the reason I kept laughing and talking and stuff is because Marco kept talking to me, and you know, I was just having a conversation while doing my makeup, so sorry if that bothers anyone. You can see that the pointy side of the sponge kind of makes it easier just to get into the corners and stuff of your face, so that's kind of convenient. And I always like to go in with a little bit more foundation, just kind of go over the blemish again. I like to do that with a brush, with anything, with my fingers, just kind of give it some extra coverage. Of course, I'm using the pointy side just to kind of blend that in. Now taking my True Match Concealer in Neutral, which is too dark for me, anywho, I put that on my problem areas wherever my redness is and stuff. And this can be blended out too much, but with this sponge, it kind of makes it nice and buildable and doesn't blend it out too much, which is a problem that I actually have with concealers. But this just makes it nice. Whoa, onto my Maybelline translucent powder. And I don't really apply powder with the sponge and stuff, but I wanted to show you that you can do that. So if you wanted to do it, then you could. But yeah, I just wanted to demonstrate that just so you have the full face thingamababa. Now on to how to clean your beauty sponge, and I want to use a bar soap in my awesome Spider-Man bowl. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lightly wet the soap and lightly wet your sponge, because if you soak it up too much, then it's kind of going to just soak up the water. So you want to clean the surface of it first, and I know it's kind of hard to see throughout this video, but I decided to leave it in there anyways. And you're just going to want to keep lightly scrubbing it, and keep cleaning off the bar of soap, getting off the foundation that gets onto your soap. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Yeah, because the foundation is going to go on the soap. So you're going to want to clean that off. And then you're just going to want to lightly keep making only the surface of your sponge wet. Don't soak it up until the end. Once you have the surface clean, then you can soak in your sponge and get like any makeup that's inside of it out. And you're just going to keep doing that and rubbing it against your bar of soap. And this is a lot gentler, I feel, than soap and olive oil, because I haven't gotten tears doing this. And it's actually gotten rid of the surface stains. So I feel if you do this, then it'll help you get rid of the surface stains. And I'm clapping my hands, okay. And it won't tear your sponge anymore. Yeah. And sorry that it was hard to see this. So I'm kind of getting a little hyper now. Okay.